Hello, welcome to game 2 of the final match against Cave-O-Sapien here. So we're working with this kingdom, and I noticed that capitalism turns conclave and goons into treasures. That lets you play multi-goons very easily, considering actions here are a bit strained, confined to crown and conclave isn't the best source of plus action. So Cave-O opens with a Hermit, which I agree with. I would also like to open with a Hermit, but what do I do on the 4? Well, you could get another Hermit. I definitely could see that. But I choose a Conclave, which, in retrospect, is wrong. I think the correct opening here is double Hermit, and for the first few turns, please look at Cave-O's play because they demonstrate exactly how to handle the first 5 or 6 turns of this kingdom. So some deliberation, eventually picking up the conclave, and I get a hermit to pair it with. So Cave-O goes heavily after the hermits, which I think is the correct thing to do. Again, in retrospect, gets a madman. I also will get a madman here. Luckily, my hermit didn't miss. And here they trigger their madman. Play 2 hermits, I believe. So definitely 1 hermit to trash an estate. And here's the second hermit and able to get a capitalism. So double madman and a capitalism. Very good turn for them here. On my 5, I go for a swashbuckler. There is no trashing of the coppers in the kingdom. We'll talk about that later. So I wanted some draw to help me out there. And maybe it'll come with the madman. Let me get a nice big turn. Anyways, I do something similar to Cave-O with the hermit and capitalism play. However, they are way ahead. You'll see here 1 madman, 2 madmans, full deck in hand. Now they can set aside their madmen and hermits with the way of the turtle, which is exactly what they do, and they gain a goons. An alternative play there is to pick up a crypt and then trigger the madman and set aside all your treasures with the crypt. I understand the goons though, they want the plus buy. That is very important. So I get completely blown out in the opening here. First 7 turns went entirely to Cave-O. That's my fault entirely. Double hermit is the opening, not this conclave thing. Conclaves can come later. And now that there are no more hermits, I have to gain these undesirable silvers. I'm able to get our goons here, which is good, but it's late. And my madman will feel sad because the goons will come out and attack my hand here. So this isn't a great place to trigger the madman at all. So I go ahead and just set it aside using the turtle. Cave-O didn't use their madman there, just opted to play the goons and picked up a swashbuckler. I can do nothing except set aside a madman and pass it back. So Cave-O still doesn't use the madman. Now they get the crypt, so now I expect them to use the madman to set aside a bunch of coppers. And here, this is what I was talking about with the copper trashing. There is no copper trashing, but crypt can take them out of your deck for you for some time. So you do have a good deck for some number of turns until enough coppers leak out. So I like the crypt, very good card. Here I opt to gain just another madman and leave my madman on the way of the turtle. Hopefully they don't attack me 1 turn, but that seems incredibly unlikely. Triggering their madman here, out comes swashbuckler, out comes goons, and they get to set aside all their treasure with the crypt. Great turn, great sequence of plays for them. They get a sequence of plays for them there. They get a second goons and they get a crown. Crown is a very good card here. You'll need it for some actions. Crypt sets everything aside for them. Now, I do trigger my madman here because I have the conclave and the swashbuckler, so I will be able to draw quite a few cards. I stop here. With the madman, I put this one on the turtle, of course, because I figure I had enough here. I only had 2 buys anyway. I go for a crypt and a replace. Now, the replace is an interesting choice. I want to get rid of these silvers. They're just junk cards in the deck at this point. If I really want silver, buy goons. You know, it's the same $2 and I get plus buy and points for doing it. So hopefully I could get a nice crypt off just like Cave-O-Sapien, but I doubt it. Anyways, so with their very thin deck, they're able to play their swashbuckler and then use the crown on the now treasury goons. And they come up with 8. Double goons in play is very good. And they take a silver and another crypt. Totally understand the other crypt. It's to catch the leaking coppers from the previous crypt. Now I get to 5 here. Do not trigger the madman. Get a crown of my own. I want that to be crown swashbuckler. I need the draw. Goons isn't letting my madman flourish at all. And that will not happen for some time. So I need the draw. So goons comes out, cuts up the hand again here, but my hand is still good. 11 for Cave-O. They could do a myriad of things here. They gain another goons and another crypt. That seems very, very good. Triple goons for them now, and the game is running away from me here. They've been scoring all this time while buying cards with the goons, right? So crown swashbuckler lets me draw many cards, and I am able to replace this silver. I still need some more draw, so going to top deck a swashbuckler and set aside a conclave for the next turn. I buy a goons because I need to catch up. Crypt isn't as impressive as Cave-O's, but I'm able to catch a goons if I want, or a conclave, or a crown in that crypt as well. So I have choices on what I catch. Definitely the 4 coppers go in. And I think I opt here. I was thinking about the goons, but I think the crown is better because I know swashbuckler is on top of the deck, and conclave is set aside with way of the turtle. So I'll be able to draw a lot here. And I'm guaranteed to pull the crown out of the crypt, because it's my choice of what comes out of the crypt. Triple goons, and they buy a platinum. Now this platinum was kind of wavy. I thought that would have been more goons for them, honestly. But we'll take it. We will take it. So my turn. Take the crown off the crypt. Play that conclave. Conclave will stick to the crown, and then the crown will play this swashbuckler twice. Draw most of the deck. Very, very good. And I also get to replace this second silver that I was forced to gain, sort of, because all the hermits ran out. Anyways, I gain another crypt with that. Double goons for me. I have up to 14 to spend here. I should mention that this is important, I'll pause, adjusted the ruling for the coffers, so now you could spend them at any point during your turn. You don't have to think, okay, I should spend 12, so let me chip one coffer up and then make my buys. You could just start at 11 and buy double goons, for example, and the game will understand that is how it works. It's much more natural this way. Alright, so up to 14, 3 buys. I definitely want more goons. The points situation is terrible, and I need to rectify that. So I go for goons, I go for another crown, and I go for another silver here. The silver is for the replace, honestly. I don't have any more good targets for the replace, so I get another silver. Maybe I could change that into a crypt and keep putting a crown inside of the crypt so that I always have it on my next turn. So I put a crown inside my second crypt. I see it with a good hand, which is not surprising. I've set aside most of my coppers at this point. Pass it back to Cave to see what they can come up with. So swashbuckler, they crown their platinum. So that's a lot of money, a heap of money. 19 and 4 buys. I was expecting triple goons. They go for crown, crypt. The crypts are all fine, and another goons. Okay, so we are in some serious problems here. The score is 9 to 24. They have way more goons than I do. I take crown off this crypt, and the copper is forced. All I can do is draw and see what I can come up with. So crown swashbuckler comes through. That's very good news for me, and unfortunately the silver is top decked. That is quite unfortunate. I would have liked to replace that into perhaps another crypt or maybe a crown, but instead here I just have the copper, so I'm going to replace the copper into an estate, and in a short while that's going to look like a genius play, but I had no idea the ramifications of that play. So I go here for a crown again on the conclave. I really wanted the crypt here because I could store these crowns away, or at least one crown, so next turn probably I could crown swashbuckler. You know, that's not bad, even if it comes without conclave. If it comes with conclave, then great. So unable to get the crypt, I opt to replace the copper into an estate. Dish out a curse. That isn't impactful at all, I think. And the second conclave will play a goons for me. I set aside a swashbuckler here. I could have played it, but what am I picking up? A silver maybe? So I just set it aside for next turn so that I could potentially have a big next turn. I need some help to find the crowns. Hopefully a swashbuckler set aside will do that. And triple goons. I go for as many goons as I can buy, which is 2 of them. I think about copper here, but no, that'll just hurt my chances of connecting all my cards. And I don't think I need to do that yet. Piles are low, by the way. So there's 1 goons left and 4 crypts. So you do have to keep that in mind moving forward here, well into the end game, and I'm a bit behind on points and on goons. So I totally forgot about these hermits from Cave-O. The estate pile out is real, and the hermits can't help with that. I completely forgot about them because they've been turtles for so long. But now they use one of them to trash the curse, so that is curse was completely inconsequential, obviously. They gain a silver, and then they opt to play the other one as well. And here they choose to set up, right? They opt to have a setup turn. So they just play goons to attack me, set aside a bunch of cards, and convert the 2 hermits into 2 madmen. So they are threatening to have a huge turn next turn. Let's see what we could do about that. That's very scary. Crypt gives me the 2 coppers, obviously. And Swashbuckler does help me line up Conclave, Crown, and Swashbuckler. So I think all good things start with crowning a Swashbuckler. It's very nice that I'm able to get the coffers from this most of the time, not all of the time. Extra money is always welcome. And now I stop and I have a think. Can I win the game on the estates and the goons? That is probably the only way in which I can end the game here. And if you want, you could pause the video and see if there's a win in hand. There is a win in hand, and I actually do find it. So the win is to crown the replace. So I could conclave goons or whatever, but the important part is crown the replace, convert. Actually, I don't play the conclave. Don't play the conclave. Let me start over. You crown the replace, convert a conclave into a goons, convert a copper or an estate into another estate, and then the 5 goons will give you enough buys to be able to finish off the estate. So that's what I said. That's why I said the estate last turn made me look like a genius, but no, I did not envisage a pile out on estates when I did that. In fact, I may have put myself in a position to lose there with the hermits being able to gain the estates. But as it is, I'm able to get out of jail here and take game 2. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.